This is a story I heard from a friend who has a high-profile job in the media. It's about a man who went missing while he was mountain hiking. His body was discovered in a marshy area at the base of the mountain 3 years after he initially set out hiking. A tape recorder was found in his possession. On the tape, the man was shouting for help. It seemed like he was injured or he was stuck. The tape was known to the mass media, but parts of the tape were not released out of respect to the grieving family. Something besides his shouts for help was on that tape. The man was terrified by someone or something. He had these bouts of terror at night. Something was happening to him at night. He dictated to the tape. The first day. When it gets dark, I can hear someone's voice. Somebody's calling. Out here in the mountains. In the middle of the night. I don't trust it. No one would be out here in the middle of the night. Day 2. Help me. The voice. I can hear it chattering. Getting closer. Closer than yesterday. Calling in the dark. It's terrifying. Oh God. Someone please find me. Help me. I'm scared. Someone please. Day 3. It's getting closer. Help me. It's getting closer. Please, someone. Anyone. God. It's right behind me. Please. This is where his recordings end. The police analyzed the tape, but they couldn't hear anybody else's voice calling. All they could hear was the voice that belonged to the hiker. They found nothing else suspicious on the tape, so they called in a special audio analyst. He said he found something on the tape that the police had missed. Another person's voice was audible right at the end of the tape. The voice sounded as if it was very close to the tape recorder, like a whisper to the ear. Found you. I work part-time in a DVD rental store. My boss made a corner of the shop devoted to the top-ranked rentals of the week, so customers could see what's popular. I hadn't been working there long before I came across a DVD which really interested me. I'd like to keep the title secret for reasons you'll find out shortly. Even though it wasn't a very famous or critically acclaimed title, it was constantly being rented. "Hey," I said to my colleague, "have you seen this film?" "Nah, I haven't. Why?" "It's getting rented all the time. It's really popular," I said as I showed him the jacket cover. "What, that? Weird. We only have one copy, so how did it get in the best ranking list? Wonder if the boss knows. Maybe it's a masterpiece. We should check it out." We'll call my friend R, as R's apartment was not too far from my university. I stopped by and drink with him occasionally after studying. Although R is a bit older than me, we get on well and we have similar interests. So one day, when it was hot and humid, I shot him a text. My body demanded beer. "Hey man, I got no classes tomorrow. Let's get some drinks. Is it cool if I stay over?" "Great. I need some beers, man. This heat is killing me. Come over. Let's watch that weird movie too." When work was finished, we went to a bar. Then, when we were sufficiently buzzed, we headed to R's apartment to watch the movie. The main protagonist of the film was a man who worked in an oil refinery, and his plans to get married. He was a clumsy character. That was the film. "This movie sucks," R said. "Let's turn it off and get some sleep." The moment he aimed his remote at the TV, the image on the screen changed. This happened at the 51st minute of the video if anybody's interested. R slowly put the remote down on the table. "Someone's dubbed something over one of our films," I said. "Hey, this looks like it's Japan, right?" R said while we watched. Hang on. That's around here. That's this neighborhood, he shouted. I noticed it too. On the screen was a road I knew on the outskirts of town. It looked like it was filmed out of a car driving down the highway on 8mm film or something like that. After a while, the car stopped on the side of the road and the driver/cameraman got out and walked through a grove of trees to a run-down, abandoned building. Weeds and trees grew at their own will. The cameraman pushed through them and continued walking. It went on for a few minutes like this. An old refrigerator came into frame. There was no sound. He reached for the handle and opened the old refrigerator. Inside was the remains of a body. It was in a late stage of decomposition. It was the embodiment of horror. That was on my friend's TV screen. "Oh, I'm gonna be sick," I cried. It froze on that disgusting image, and after about 5 minutes or so, he went back to the original film. "Turn it off. Man, that's too real," R was saying. R seemed to think that it was part of the movie. I wanted to hand it into the police, but the next day, R showed the store owner, and he also thought it was part of the movie. Even now, that movie is on the shelf of our rental store. And the weirdest thing is, we've never received a complaint about it. It's being rented constantly. Since R doesn't believe it's real, he has offered to take me to the location on the outside of our town to see if we can find the house. But I know that wasn't part of the movie. By the way, the video shop I work in is in Furukawa, in Miyagi. A co-worker died. He was a good friend of mine. His name was Kay. His hobby was free climbing. I'm a single guy, but I often spent time with him and his family. Kay was really into his free climbing. Whenever he had some time off work, he would be climbing. Cliffs, mountains, you name it, he climbed it. About half a year before he died, he came to me with a request. "Hey, I want you to record a video for me. You know, just in case," he stated. "It's just a hobby, but you never know. One day my hobby might cost me my life. It's a 1 in a million kind of thing. But in the event of that happening, I need to make the necessary preparations. I want you to record a video for me." I said to him at the time, "If your hobby's that dangerous, then for the sake of your family, why don't you just give it up?" He replied flatly, "To be honest, I don't want to give it up. I love it." I couldn't help but agree to offer to record the video for him. We decided not to shoot the video at his family house, as somebody might overhear us. He sat down on my sofa, with my white wall behind him. I hit record, and he started to talk. Hi. It's me, Kay. If you're watching this video, it means I've died." He said his wife's name and his daughter's name. "I want to thank you for everything. My own selfish hobby has most likely caused my untimely death, and I'm very sorry for that. To my mother, father, and the family that raised me, and to my friends, please don't be sad. I'm enjoying heaven now. It's sad that I can't see you anymore, but I'll be watching from up here. He says his daughter's name. Your father will be watching you every day from up high, so make sure you smile at me. I don't want to see you cry, darling. Goodbye. It was only roughly 6 months later that he died. It happened while he was climbing. He slipped from on high. According to a free climbing friend of his, even if you slip, there should be a safety mat in place to prevent casualties. However, my friend fell further than predicted, further from the safety of the mat. It was unavoidable. His funeral was a tragic affair. His wife and daughter were bawling their eyes out. And as for myself, I just couldn't believe I was stood there at my friend's funeral. After 1 week had passed, I told Kay's family about the video. As expected, Kay's family wanted to see it desperately, so they asked me to play it at his memorial service 1 week after his death, in front of his whole family. On that day, as I brought the DVD out of my bag, the family members began to cry. "Your attention, please. This DVD is also part of the memorial service," Kay's wife said. I put the DVD in and pressed play. It began with a dark screen and a strange vacuous noise, which lasted for about 10 seconds. I panicked. I thought there must have been some sort of problem with the recording. Maybe I messed it up. His final message. Then suddenly, there he was on my sofa. He started to talk. I was surprised by how dark my room looked. Hi, it's me, Kay. If you're watching this video, it means I've died. I want to thank you for everything. My own selfish hobby has most likely caused my untimely death, and I'm very sorry for that. Kay's voice was intertwined with this voo kind of sound. This terrible noise was making it difficult to hear the words he was saying. To my mother and father, and the family that raised me, and to my friends, please don't be sad. I want to. It ended with an agonizing scream. When he finished screaming, something crept into frame from the darkness, and grabbed Kay by the arm, and began to yank him away. I know I saw that. No mistake. Kay's widow screamed at me to turn the video off. The family was screaming and crying. Kay's father grabbed me and hit me. Kay's brother came to my aid and said it could have been a prank that he set up for us. He managed to calm things down a little bit. I threw myself down onto my knees and apologized profusely to the family and assured them that I would dispose of the video. The next day, I brought the DVD to the Buddhist temple in my area and asked them to help me dispose of the horrible thing. I held the DVD in a paper bag before the head priest. The moment he laid his eyes on it, he said, "I'm sorry, son, I can't help you." He told me that I would need to get it exorcised. He looked me in the eyes and said, "You have something truly awful in your possession." So I scheduled a meeting with a Shinto exorcist. When I met him, he told me something terrible latched onto him when I took that video, and that's why it appears on the DVD. Something marked him for hell. He said he had no idea why it allowed him to live another 6 months. Even though the DVD doesn't exist anymore, I can't escape the memories of his screams.